Hi, this is Lauren Evans for the Finance News Network. Joining me from Etherstack is CEO and Executive Director David Deacon. David, it's nice to meet you.
Thanks very much, Lauren. Nice to meet you too.
Welcome to FNN. So first up, can you start with an introduction to the company?
Etherstack originally started out as a technology licensing company, licensing wireless software technology to other wireless equipment manufacturers around the world. And over the years, we branched out to make our own advanced mission-critical push-to-talk products that are typically used by police, fire, ambulance, public safety agencies, defence and the resource sector, both core software products as well as switching networks and network equipment for those industries. And the company derives its revenues from installing those networks as well as in providing 24/7 support to those networks for the essential workers in the community who operate, making everything from the lights go on for us or the ambulance come night and day.
And could you name some of your customers?
Diverse range of end user customers such as Ergon Energy in Queensland, ATCO Electric in Canada, Jersey Central Power and Light, and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. They use our digital radio networks to provide services to their officers and support personnel. But in the technology licensing space, probably one of our more interesting recent announcements, our global teaming agreement with Samsung Electronics in Korea.
Thanks, David. So what is the market size for push-to-talk communications?
The total market size for push-to-talk is about $40 or $50 billion. But it's really separated into three separate segments. What we call the traditional digital and mobile radio market is about a $15 to $20 billion market. And that's where the company is already growing and getting fantastic growth rates over the last 3 or 4 years and enjoying fantastic recurring revenues that are coming through for the traditional digital and mobile radio networks. The second space is push-to-talk over cellular, which is what our deal with Samsung is very much about, which is how do we deliver push-to-talk services for government-grade or emergency services grade over 5G networks going forward. And then the third area, an emerging area, is push-to-talk over satellite. With all the new LEOs and MEOs satellites going up, with the crashing price of satellite bandwidth, we can now actually afford to do push-to-talk over satellite, which really gives a whole range of new options for public safety in remote areas such as bushfires, police, ambulance, and so on.
And David, could you provide a comment on the company's financial performance?
It's been a great couple of years, and this current year, as we've already advised the market, is going really well. The first half this year was up 79% on the prior corresponding period. And yet again, we will be profitable, cash flow generative. We've got a really great range of deals in the pipeline at the moment. We've already given some guidance to the market about the types of targeted wins that we're expecting in the short and the medium term. Things are really fantastic, and we're looking forward to having a fantastic 2022.
Thanks, David. Could you comment on the impact of the global rollout of 5G networks?
5G networks, as we know, they're appearing all around the world. And really what's going to happen is in urban areas around the world, there'll be much more bandwidth available to provide really rich emergency services and public safety experiences beyond mission critical push to talk, but things like video and real-time information. By partnering with Samsung, we're looking at between about 60 to 90 contracts coming up in the OECD countries in the next several years that we're collectively targeting. And by piggybacking onto the back of those deployments into the countries, we're certainly hoping that we're going to get a very healthy run rate up for those wins. And beyond the developed countries, there's another, probably 100 to 200 potential contracts that will become available over the next 5 to 10 years for this type of technology. We announced our first major win with carrier win with Samsung earlier this year, just shy of 12 million Australian dollars, including the first few years support revenues, and it's really the long-term support tails on that. It's very software as a service like support revenues going forward. And ultimately, at the end of the day, everything that we do and touch is to a large extent effectively government-backed, whether it's police, fire, ambulance, defence or electric utilities. It's a government-backed growth story.
So, David, what can investors look forward to in the future?
Across all the sectors of our business at the moment, be it the defence deliveries that we're currently doing, and particularly interest in Australian sovereign defence interests at the moment. Keep an eye out for the announcements in that space. Equally in the 5G carrier space, with all the stimulus spending that governments are spending around the world, and certainly will be investing in the next 5 to 10 years, that huge wave of infrastructure cash, will go into public safety exercises, utilities, infrastructure, roads, bridges, and all of that ultimately, in terms of mission critical communications, flows down to the communication systems. So fantastic tailwinds for the business. Really looking forward to the next few years.
Well, David Deacon, nice to meet you, and thanks for the introduction to Etherstack.
Thank you very much, Lauren. Really appreciate it.